Welcome to the Next Level Podcast with Brian Daniels. Ooh, boom shakalaka.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of The Next Level. I am your host, Brian Daniels, and with me, all the way across the pond over in the UK, is my man, Andrew Denman. What's going on, Andrew? How you doing today, man?
Hi, Brian. I'm doing okay, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. It's good to have you. This is our 101st episode, by the way.
Okay.
And if you listened to our show last week, we celebrated our 100th episode,
hmm
and pretty much everybody that has done this show was on there. That was nice.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
we're officially putting our next episode. We're headed towards 200.
Yep.
So here we are.
More than
And
halfway there.
that's right. That's right. So we're gonna be talking about for basically the main topic of this episode. We're gonna talk about guilty pleasure games. Guilty pleasure games. So those are those games you're kind of like, maybe either feel somewhat ashamed for playing them, or maybe you feel ashamed for playing them for too long, right? Like you pour hundreds of hours into them. But before we get into
hmm
that, real quick, we're gonna talk about a little gaming news that's current.
Cool.
Um, so there was a presentation recently uh from a CEO at a company called Epilon, and his name is Matthew Ball. Talked about on the state of video games this year. Now that's a whole conversation that we could talk about for hours at a time, but we're
Of
not going to do
course. Yeah.
that. But they said that basically near the end of their presentation, Ball says that this is I'm getting this from IGN, by the way. Ball says that some game makers hope that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be priced at either $80 to $100, breaking the $70 barrier and helping $50 titles to move up to 60, 60 to go to 70, 70 to go to 80, and etc. Package game prices have never been lower in real terms than they are today, even though even though budgets are at a all-time high and player growth is stalled. Ball continues to write that GTA 6 could reestablish capped video game prices after decades of deflation despite rampant cost growth. So I want to ask you, right now we're in the state of where games have been for over a year now,
hmm
$70, right?
Yep.
We had for the longest time we were used to the price point of 60. Okay, and I
hmm
know that over in the UK it's about the same, right? You had told me earlier that
Yeah,
typically
yeah.
they match the exact same price, which ends up being more expensive for you guys over there,
Yes.
right?
That's
Right,
that's right. Yeah.
right. So from when you're converting from pounds dollars to pounds anyway. So
Yeah.
um which is insane because you're essentially eating more of the cost
hmm
than we are, which is
Yeah.
already overpriced. I feel $7 is still too much, even
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I agreed. Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, if you're going to pay more money for something, you expect to get more, right?
hmm
And what we've typically gotten more of is games not working as they should when they release.
Yeah.
Um, Games having numerous large gigabytes worth of patches on day one when they release, or some games not even working as intended at all when
Mm.
they release. Um, so my question to you is, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on this take of hoping people, hoping that maybe Grand Theft Auto can come out at like $80 to $100, just so that other companies or other developers or even publishers can make those
Yeah.
games be that expensive. How do you feel about that?
Well, quick answer. It's bad. Um, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, if we went with the upper price point, because I think the other day when we were talking about this, offline,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I just, at a cursory glance, so just to reiterate your point, so a brand new AAA game that
Mhm.
would release in the UK, on day one, if you were to get it off the digital marketplace, then yeah, that would probably be 60 to £70 that we're paying. Um, so I took a cursory glance the other day where if it was $100, that
Yeah.
would be probably £100, and I just
Right.
put it into a online conversion, and it came out. I think it was just under $125.
Yeah.
So if they were to do that 1-to-1,
Yeah.
then basically you'd be paying $125 for a $100 title for something that shouldn't be that expensive.
For sure.
The thing is I guess the other thing to also bear in mind is GTA as a whole, or I guess more specifically GTA 5 as an entity, right? So I think it's fair to say that there's no denying that there was a lot of content that came out for GTA 5, but
Hmm.
the problem with that is that all of that content, apart from it being re-released on multiple different console generations, because I remember originally playing it back on the 360,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
was that all of the content was basically online, and
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
online GTA Online aspect
Yeah.
itself, was also a money sink. So while you had a lot of content, a lot of that content was put behind basically these paywalls of either spending hours to grind to get the weapons or the vehicles or the
Yeah.
apartments or whatever,
Yeah.
or you can just conveniently take out your wallet, put in the
Yep.
details, and do it that way.
Yeah.
So what my concern is that, among other things, is that if they do that with GTA 6, that they're going to go even heavier on
Hmm.
the online aspect, which,
Hmm. Yeah.
while it's got an audience, it's not my interest.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
play the GTA games. I enjoy it for the single player, for
Hmm.
the offline
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess what my question is, or what I'm worried about is, if they are going to slap this $100 price tag on it, how
Mm.
much of it is really going to be because of the single player aspect, and how
I
much
see
of
what
it
you're
is actually
saying.
going to be because of
Yeah.
the online market and the
Right.
online transactions and stuff.
So Rockstar Games is like $1 billion company,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I'd like to think they would do right by the gamers because
Hmm.
they've done that, in every release. They've been pretty good at that. I mean, yeah, you've got Grand Theft Auto Online is huge. I know Eric
Yeah.
that's with us and does domain with us.
Hmm.
He has poured thousands of hours. That's probably his guilty pleasure game,
Sure.
honestly.
Okay. Fair
Is
enough.
is is that he's poured
Mhm.
thousands of hours into it. I know he's bought a few shark cards.
Sure.
Um, and with anything now it's online like that, that's free to play.
Yeah.
We kind of know what
Quotation
free to play.
marks. Yeah.
We kind of know what free. Yeah, I was actually making that
Yeah.
motion with my hands when you
Oh,
said that.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We really know what FTP means, right? It's not really free. It's
Yeah.
it's all of these it's all of these counters or things put in place
Hmm.
to tempt you to spend money,
Yeah.
right? Um, and so that's why like I don't really care for free to play because
Hmm.
well, it depends. I have trained myself enough to not need to buy cosmetics.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was kind of like people getting mad about Halo and having to and how they unlocked or how to cosmetics. And I'm of the
Yeah.
mindset of I'm here to play a game.
Hmm.
I get like I'm old school. I'm an 80s kid. So back in the day, you had to unlock things, you had to play the game, right?
Yeah.
Not pull out a wallet and here it is.
Hmm.
And I still have that mentality. I want to be able to unlock things.
Yeah.
So I'm of the mindset of if you can still give me that's cool shit to unlock, I don't necessarily mind the microtransactions because I'm not going to buy them anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but they don't do that usually. It's all give us your money and your credit card and we'll give you all the fun things you want.
Yeah.
So my thing is now that you have to understand, like when GTA 5 came out, we're talking like almost like entirely 2 generations ago. You realize that, right?
Yeah. It came out in
Two generate,
2013. Yeah,
yeah,
2013 was it when it
two
originally released. Yeah.
almost 2 console generations ago
Over
is
10,
when
yeah,
GTA 5 came out, right?
over 10
And
years
then
ago.
an
Yeah.
entirely different state of gaming.
Yeah.
now we're in the state of gaming where games don't work as they should.
Mhm.
Games are $70. Games are, not really don't feel next gen. I still think games
Yeah,
don't really feel like a next gen game. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel when I play a game now. Like I guess it's supposed to
sure.
be FPS and that 60
Mm,
FPS and 4K, right? That's where
yeah,
we're at now.
yeah,
So for me, it's what I'm concerned about what this game's going to be when it comes out.
yeah.
And now
Mhm.
because they had leaks, we haven't really
They
seen any other
did. Yeah, I was gonna
trailers.
say. Yeah.
The leaks, I'm sure, hurt them. So, is there a possibility this game could be more than I won't say 100. I'm not trying to
Mm,
put that out there, but is there a possibility this game could be more than $70 when it comes out? Very much so, yes. I just
yeah,
want to make. But my thing is what am I getting for that money?
yeah,
And I don't really play online anyway, so I really don't care
yeah.
about
I
that.
mean,
I'm
yeah.
of your mindset of I give me a great single player. My
Mhm.
concern is, are we going to have single player that's going to have a battle pass put in? Like what
Yeah.
because if you think about it, GTA 5 did not have any microtransactions in the single player mode. I don't think any of
No,
their games have had microtransactions in the single player mode.
but that
I
was
don't
the thing.
right?
Kind of. Well, that's the thing. Well, it's kind of the
Mm.
opposite problem to what a lot of people have. Where games sort of charge for DLC and everything. People have
It's
been
like Assassin's
saying,
Creed.
yeah, but people have
Yeah.
been saying
Mhm.
we want to have story expansions. Like with GTA
Yes.
4, they had the Lost and Damned and the
Yeah.
Ballad of Gay Tony.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
they people
Yeah.
were, and even with uh, uh, Red Dead Redemption 1, they also had
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they had
people
the
are sort
zombie
of
thing.
saying
Yeah.
we want more content from a single player perspective, and
Yeah.
they just
My
they
my
didn't
fear
listen.
though,
Yeah,
my fear though is that I think that because they are self-aware of the industry because this is their first release since Red Dead 2, which Red Dead 2 came out in 2018
yeah,
or yeah, 18.
yeah.
So and that was a pretty pure game, right? We didn't have microtransactions in the single player.
No,
My
no.
concern is, I know you're a big Assassin's Creed guy. I'm a big
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed guy. We've played those games. We've seen what those games become
Mhm.
littered with microtransactions for single player. Oh, buy horse skins, unlock map treasures on the map.
Yeah. Or
Now,
XP
so
boosters for single player. Yeah.
I can't pretend like I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not concerned that they're not going to do that same thing in GTA 6,
Yeah.
right?
Agreed.
I
Mhm.
really do believe this will be the first Rockstar Games game that's in the single player. We're going to have things,
Yeah.
and that's really going to suck.
Mm.
I'm not, and I get it. I know people can say, but Brian, you don't have to buy them. I don't. When I play Assassin's Creed, I don't buy that shit. But that's
Sure.
not the point. The point is that video game companies don't need to be greedy like that. But they're getting more greedy, and I think that Rockstar Games has an opportunity. I think Rockstar Games has an opportunity to. I think GTA 6 is either going to hurt the industry or it's going to heal the industry.
Yeah.
And I know people have been saying for a long time there could be a video game crash. I
Another one. Okay.
I'm telling you right now, I think that crash is going to depend on GTA 6. I think what
Gotcha.
happens, the state of that game when it comes out,
Hmm.
what it's going to do to the player
Yeah.
and how greedy it is.
Hmm.
It's the most anticipated game of like almost going on 2 decades now, right?
Yeah.
It's
Going
one of the
into
most
yeah.
anticipated games. We're talking like this is like Cyberpunk 2077 again, but
Oh
like
boy. Yeah.
but like even more so,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you saw what happened with that game,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I
Massive
was there.
letdown when
Yeah.
it came out.
Hmm.
So I'm and it sucks because that's kind of how we've been trained to be now too, right? We big releases are we're just kind of like I know for me, like if GTA 6 had came out 2 decades ago, I'd be like, it's gonna be made because that was a time and place where we could let our guard down and be a
Yeah.
lot more excited. But now with the state of the industry of gaming, it's
There
kind of hard
has
to
to
be
be
that
sort of
excited.
you have
It's
to have a
it's
dose
the
of
safeguard.
skepticism. Yeah.
Yeah, the walls are up for everybody now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
Okay.
that honestly, like I think this is 2025 is going to be a massive year for the industry. That's even if GTA 6 comes out this year. We still don't even know if it's going to come
Yeah.
out this
True.
year.
True. I mean,
because it could get pushed back like other
possibly.
games get pushed back.
Yeah,
But for me, it's when they announce this game, when they announce the date, price is going to be the big tell, and what's
yeah,
this game going to have in it? Because I think honestly that GTA 6, and I'm not trying to play Nostradamus, but I have I'm almost like in Star Wars. I've got a bad feeling about this. I kind of have a bad feeling about this.
sure.
Like in the
I
pit of
think,
my stomach, I want to be good. I want to be excited and hype, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know
no,
what
I
the
get.
price point's going to be. I hope Rockstar Games is the good here, and they're like, no, we're not going to be, because they don't need it to be 70. Everybody's going to buy the shit out of that game,
Mhm.
right? But if they are going to be a greedy company, they could make it $80,
Yeah.
$90, right?
Mhm.
So we'll kind of just see.
Yeah,
Um. Anyway, that's our thoughts on that. Let's get to the main topic of discussion here.
sure.
Guilty pleasure games.
Okay.
I know Andrew, this was a topic you had wanted to talk about,
Mhm.
and so I'll let you start it off. What's one of your guilty pleasure games that you really enjoy?
Well, I think you've kind of already mentioned the series as a whole, and I know it's kind of
Yeah,
and that's
yeah, it's a
yeah,
good transition.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed, yeah,
Assassin's
there you
Creed.
go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so as of right now, I believe I've played every console main Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, really?
But
Okay.
that's not including I think it's the Chronicles ones. I haven't played those ones.
The side scrolling like
Yeah, I haven't.
yeah, like a Metroidvania
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've not played those ones, but I played. I
I have
guess you
not
can
really
say
played those, yeah.
the 3D ones I've played.
Sure.
And to be honest,
Yeah.
I can't really say that I disliked any of them. So even the ones that people were up in arms about.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I liked Assassin's Creed Unity. I believe I
Okay.
platinumed Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so
Wow.
and I know at the moment there's sort of a lot of discourse around Assassin's Creed
Shadows.
Shadows and all that sort
Yeah.
of thing. But
Yeah.
while I know that the mood music from people is sort of well, we're not entirely sure how it's going to go. I'm
Yeah.
interested, and as far as
Yeah.
I can tell, I'm going to be playing it, and
Yeah.
I anticipate that I'll enjoy myself.
There you go. Yeah, I think Assassin's Creed is it's a series. I'll tell you that. I
Yeah,
think it's vastly different from how it was when it started.
hmm
And I kind of miss that a little bit. I did like Mirage.
yeah.
I quite enjoyed Mirage because it was a throwback Assassin's Creed style.
It was quite
Um,
compact, wasn't it?
it doesn't seem that Shadows is going to be that.
Mm.
Um, it's going to kind of revert more to that Valhalla. I think as far as the more modern ones go, I think Origins has been my favorite one.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I think for a
Because
personal
there's that.
reason, I've always
Yeah.
I've always been fond of ancient Egypt anyway. So like
Cool, gotcha.
you're covering a point in history that I enjoy learning
Mhm.
about. So that was what set it off for me, but I just enjoyed the gameplay. And that's kind of when they introduced all those mechanics, the looting and things like that.
Yeah, and it's kind of when
Um
it went big open world, really, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah,
they've all
yeah.
sort of been open world, but I think it was like the Origins, Odyssey,
hmm
Valhalla trilogy, where it was just sort of
hmm
here's a huge area for you
Yeah.
to explore, have
And
fun.
I really enjoyed Odyssey. I liked
Mhm.
that whole having to hunt down the members of I forget what they were called, but the cult
The
members.
cults, yeah,
That was really cool. I loved that aspect. That
yeah.
was like the mechanic that I really enjoyed. Um,
Mhm.
Valhalla, man, I've still not beat Valhalla. I've not beat the story.
Valhalla is a very big game. Yeah,
It is, it is one of
even
those
if you, yeah,
games. It's a massive. It's like people who
it's
like to read and they
yeah,
read those gigantic novels. I'm just like, nah, it's not for me. Like, um, I
yeah.
might
No, I
finish it one
understand.
day, but with the story kind of being so convoluted now, the main
Mhm.
story is like kind of everywhere.
Oh, I do. I don't play it
Um,
for the story. I play it for the gameplay
sure,
at this
sure,
point.
of
Yeah,
course. Well, now you do.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I miss
But I
about old
remember,
Assassin's Creed. I miss Desmond.
yeah, I
I
remember the
miss the
kind of,
story it had. I miss the sub story it had within it.
I
I miss
remember that
that.
the cliffhanger at the end of the first game,
Yeah.
when you're out of the Animus and the symbol
Yeah.
appears and everything on
And
the walls.
I will forever and always be mad that we never got a Desmond Miles Assassin's Creed game where you play as him. I'm so mad.
What, solely
I
him?
remember wanting that to be like, oh, they're gonna do a modern day Assassin's Creed where you're Desmond, and I'm like,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
of course that never
No.
happened. I
All you
feel so
get is a
cheated.
few. You
I
get a
feel so
few
cheated.
segments. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
get a
feel so
few.
cheated out of that. But
Yeah, but you get
you
a few
know,
current day segments where you can play as him in some of the
right?
games, but not a full
You get a
blown.
little tease almost every game,
Yeah,
and it's
not a
like
full blown type. Um,
they made me feel like they were building me up to something I never got, and that's kind of why I
yeah,
feel a little bitter towards them. But from a historical standpoint, I enjoy playing them for that reason.
no, fair enough.
I'm big on ancient Japan and the samurai, so I'm super
Sure.
excited to check that. You know, where you have the option to play as a samurai or as a ninja.
Yeah.
So I think they've always. I think some could say that it's kind of a little too late for that kind of game to come out because we got Ghost of Tsushima, which is phenomenal,
It is, and that sequel's
one of
coming
the
out this year
best
as well. Yeah.
one of the best games to do that. Um,
Absolutely.
so I kind of was hoping we would have an Assassin's Creed Japan by then, but you know they waited to this long. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I enjoy those games as well. I would say for me a game that is a guilty pleasure game is Vampire Survivors. Um, that is
Okay, I've not
definitely
played that.
that is definitely a game. That is a game. So it's a top-down roguelite game
Oh, okay. I think I might have played it. Yeah.
where you auto fire everything
Oh, yeah,
around
yeah,
you,
yeah.
and you just kind of you gotta like avoid all the enemies and the creatures trying to kill you and stuff.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
it is it's just a stupid fun game. Like there is so much going
Mm.
going on
Yeah.
around you, and there's different levels, and there's hidden secrets.
Sure.
It's like a very old school like NES game,
Okay.
and
Well, I
that's why it's right up my alley because
well,
there's lots of
I might have something to put on your radar. You might already know about this, but there's something called, I think it's called Desktop Survivor or something like that, and
oh
it's a
what?
game I think there's a demo for it, where it's very similar concept, but it's set on a
Okay.
Windows 98 desktop.
Oh, I'm looking at that now. There's a demo on Steam. I have to download that. Okay, I have it
So I think,
in a separate
okay,
tab. I'll check that
yeah. So I
out.
think that might be right up
But
your alley.
I would say definitely I would say definitely Vampire Survivors is one.
I guess it's one
I
of those
think
things that's easy to pick up but difficult to put down,
yeah.
right?
Another one for me would be and I'll let you do your next one
Yeah.
is Balatro.
Oh yeah,
Um
agree. Yeah.
Balatro, do you play it too?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We got it
Yeah,
a couple of weeks back, I think. Yeah.
Balatro is one of those games. I saw everybody playing it, and I saw a couple of my favorite streamers on YouTube play it and Twitch. And I was
Hmm.
like, okay, I love poker, by the way. I love playing Texas Hold'em, and
Okay.
I always play the poker video games they make, you know, like for Xbox and
Oh,
PlayStation and
fair
stuff
enough.
like that.
Yeah.
So like the World Series of Poker, those kind of
Hmm.
games. So I was like, all right. So and they were saying how it's a roguelike. And I was watching the mechanics, like, okay, this might be a dangerous game for me to start playing.
Yeah.
It is. I think I own it like on every console, and I
Oh,
have it on
fair enough.
PC, and I have it on my phone. So there's
Yeah.
like multiple ways for me to play this game,
Yeah. Fair enough.
and and I know I've had to have poured 50 to 100 hours into it, because
Sure.
runs are just it's a different run every time.
Yeah.
The jokers are fun, and there's so many cards to unlock, and there's multiple decks of cards to
Yeah.
unlock, and it's just if you like card games and more specifically poker, this is a game you absolutely need to play. So you can be just as addicted as I am to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fair enough. Well, from my
Yeah.
perspective, I'm not into card games.
Oh,
Nothing against
okay.
it. Well, it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just not good at them, right?
Okay. Okay.
So you'll never see me,
There you go.
at a casino table or anything like that. I'm not gonna
Okay.
do anything like that.
Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
but as it's been well documented, on various appearances on the podcast and
Uh-huh.
um, articles and that sort of thing. I'm a big fan of The Binding of Isaac, which is also kind of at this
Oh,
point it's sort
I
of
wondered.
it's
I wondered.
it's,
Yeah, I wondered if
it's
you're
an
gonna bring that up.
OG kind of roguelike game at this point.
Yes. Yes.
But in the sense of where each run is different, there's all these
Mm-hmm.
different combinations, all
Yep.
these different things to unlock, all these different strategies and
Yeah.
everything. Balatro kind of scratches that part of my scratches
Of
my
your
part of the
brain.
brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
fair.
fact that it's
That's fair.
so it's one of those things that even if you're not big into poker, you can
Yeah.
still get a lot of enjoyment out of, I'd say.
Oh,
being
I
somebody
completely
that
agree.
is in that category.
Yeah.
And I didn't get in. We didn't get it until a couple of weeks ago because, of course, I've known about it. I sort of knew that Balatro
Okay.
was that card game.
Yeah.
I knew that it got a lot of
Yeah.
talk when it came out last year.
Mhm.
But I think it wasn't until it was sort of, it was nominated for Game of the Year. I don't think it will win,
Yes.
but it was
Yeah.
nominated.
Yes. It was. Yeah.
And then sort of, I think it might have also been on sale or something like that. But it's like, okay, well, let's pick this up, and we did, and yeah, I've been having a
Yeah.
lot of fun with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, did you have another one? What's another one for you?
Oh, well, I'm wondering whether I should. I know this might seem a bit samey, but I kind of, as a more blanket statement, and a more recent example is that I enjoyed Star Wars Outlaws, and so kind of
Oh,
I would want to say
okay.
kind of on a wider
Yeah.
level. I need to be
Yeah.
careful here. I think generally speaking, I don't mind modern Ubisoft games.
Oh my
I think I
God.
can say that
That's a
from a
that's a
from a
statement.
from a
That's a
single.
statement.
The
Uh-oh.
only but no, I mean, I've
Nah,
enjoyed
you're good.
the
Yeah.
basically it seems like I've enjoyed the more recent Ubisoft games that people have been a bit more critical about.
Okay.
So Star Wars Outlaws,
Sure.
Far Cry 6, Far Cry,
Mm-hmm.
was it New Dawn, the one that was sort of a spin-off of Far Cry
It is
5?
spin off of New Dawn. I like that one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like those
Yeah.
ones. It's not, yes,
Mm.
it's a formula, it's sort of open world side
Sure.
activities.
They they kind of have a blueprint
Yeah.
before they
But
put the
I don't know,
yeah.
it just kind of I like having sort of an approach where it's sort of, here's 100 things, these are what they are, go and do them. Go and do as many of them as you
I think
can.
the problem with that game, because I enjoyed it too.
Yeah,
Um, I also enjoyed playing Sabacc because I had never really played Sabacc, and so
sure.
learning how to play Sabacc in that game was a lot of fun. But I also discovered there's multiple versions of Sabacc as well. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Oh, okay.
Just like there's different card games, there's
Sure, yeah.
multiple versions of that game. I think
Mhm.
the problem is people have grown accustomed to what they think a Star Wars game should be,
Yeah,
whether it's you're a Jedi
yeah.
or you're a bounty hunter and you're just
Mhm.
killing people with a laser sword or a a lightsaber, a laser sword, all the same thing, or a pistol all the time.
Yeah, whereas you
And
can't really
and,
do
and
that in
so
this one.
in their mind, that's what a Star Wars game is supposed to be. And what
Yeah.
I appreciate is they did something different. And
Mhm.
some would say it's a little too different. And for me, it's like, no, I kind of I kind of dug it. I mean,
It
yeah,
was kind of
some
the
of
whole
it's
kind of scrappy survivalist thing, right? Wasn't it? It was
sure,
sort of going into
but
an enemy base with all these people with armor and heavy
yeah,
weapons
I
and
think
stuff,
the
and
I
you've
think
got a
the
pistol and
problem
that's it.
I think the problem lied with it being repetitive.
Fair
Um,
enough.
I think that was the problem was it's kind of repetitive. But I mean, come on, there's games like that have repetition in them. You can't, how many times can you really remake the wheel, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, I appreciated what it was trying to do. I
Mhm.
think the other problem too is people have become super duper way more critical of the industry now than they have ever been.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the perfect game every time, and you're not going to get that.
No.
And that's why I'm pretty, a game has to really rub me the wrong way for me to absolutely not like it, or it has to just be a
Yeah.
broken,
No, I get you.
a broken fucking mess to not work. But outside of that,
Yeah.
like, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws was I thought it was a fun game. Um,
I enjoyed it with
it was,
even when they had
you know,
the force stealth sections as well. because that's
Yeah.
what I played it. Well,
Yeah.
this one I played a fair amount of it, where it's sort of
Yeah.
if you get spotted, there isn't a
Right.
case of okay, things are trickier now. It's you
Right.
get spotted, you failed the mission, go back to the previous checkpoint,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
know a lot of people had issues with.
I had problems with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have another. I have one.
Sure.
This is one you've played,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell you why it's a guilty pleasure. It's Call of Duty. So
Okay. I
Call
was
of
thinking the
Duty,
same thing. Yeah.
Call of Duty is one of those games, and it has to be a blanket thing, like you
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Of course.
with
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. Is It's one of those series that I've given so much heavy criticism for being like the same thing,
Hmm.
but damn it, I can't stop playing it. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's why.
Agreed.
I think that's why is because it's that whole how many times can you reinvent the wheel kind of mechanic. Like it's an FPS, we know that, right? How much?
Yeah.
What more can you do?
Hmm.
What more can you really do? And I feel that what was funny about this one was what was funny about Black Ops 6, which I think is a fucking amazing game. I've
Yeah.
been had nothing
I'm
but a
enjoying
fun
it.
time
Yeah.
with it. Um, and it kind of reeled me back into wanting to play Call of Duty even more
Hmm.
because I've loved the maps. The maps are everything to me. I think they
Yeah.
are.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, is that um I feel like they did the whole like when Apple removed the headphone jack,
Hmm.
and then Samsung put it in their phone. It was like, oh, look what they did.
Yeah.
I think when Call of Duty introduced the Fortnite slide into Call of Duty,
Oh yeah.
that was their big like, you can slide now and traverse these. I'm like, you've been able to do this in
Hmm.
Fortnite forever. So like,
Yeah.
it's funny things like that's the big, and it's very frustrating because when I go to uh I do play Fortnite from time to time.
Fair enough.
And so going from and obviously granted it's a third person game to a first person game, but
Yeah.
I'm not I'm only used to in Fortnite people sliding around to avoid me taking them
Hmm.
out. And so I keep forgetting that's a thing in Call of Duty. So when I turn a corner and someone slides in front of me, I'm like, fuck, I forgot. Like
Yeah.
that's in here now. And I
Yeah.
and I
No.
and
Fair.
I and that's what ends up taking me out. But Call of Duty is definitely a guilty pleasure because it's honestly it's like I know it's littered with microtransactions and it's something that I expect. And the thing is I don't ever buy them. I don't buy
Yeah.
them, and I definitely don't like them. Like when they
Hmm.
charge, what was it, like $10 for a stupid like red dot site or whatever that was a few years back.
Yeah.
Um, of course I'll criticize that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they know what they're doing and they make fun multiplayer games.
Yeah. They're doing
And
something because I've been
I mean,
playing
I've
on and
been
off since
playing
2007.
them. I was gonna say I've been playing them forever.
Yeah.
I think since like Black Ops 1.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
I've been or not or sorry, since Modern Warfare, the first one.
That's where
That's
I
how long I've
joined
been
in. Yeah.
playing it. And I'm just thinking like, you know, what are they doing? Because I've criticized them, I've made fun of Call of Duty, and here I am. I'm still playing the shit out of it. So for me, that's definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. Is I've even found myself going, oh my god, I just spent like 2 hours playing this. Like, what am I doing? Like, it's Call of Duty. I this is like supposed to be anti everything I enjoy, and it's
Yeah.
not because it's just dumb, stupid fun. And
Yeah.
does it get me frustrated? Yeah, absolutely it does. Like, but
Yeah.
that's kind of it's a pop culture video game icon. It's here. It's been around forever. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
There's people that have been saying, "Oh, Call of Duty is gonna be." No, it's not. It's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
It'll be there forever. People are gonna play the shit out of it every time it comes out. And now,
Hmm.
especially that's in Game Pass now. It's definitely not going anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
No.
now that everybody can access it like they never could before. It's it's here to stay. What's another one for you, Andrew?
Well, I think again I keep picking blanket things, and I would say just kind of as a whole, the Lego games. So like the
I
Lego.
was gonna say that same thing.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough. Like the Lego
Yeah. Okay.
insert franchise here. So
Yes.
Lego Batman,
Yeah.
Lego Star
Yes.
Wars, all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um, and
Uh, uh, uh,
I,
yeah.
they are, in and of themselves, they are solid games. I enjoy them. But the thing that's sort of the guilty pleasure for me is that they are the games that I will kind of actively go out of my way to get 100% on.
Oh
So
really?
I'll try to complete everything, so I'll try to, get
Yeah.
all of the mini kits, all the red
Yep.
bricks, all the gold bricks, all the
Yeah.
characters, all that sort of stuff.
They definitely
And
scratch that completionist itch because of
yeah,
how
yeah,
everything is laid out in the game for that. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And the thing is that when I started playing video games, because I started playing a lot during the original Xbox era. So there weren't
Okay.
really any sort of major completionist games that I can remember playing a lot
Mhm.
of at that time.
Right.
So I guess this is sort of trying to catch up on that kind of collectathon kind of era of games, like with
Yeah.
Super Mario and Banjo Kazooie and Donkey Kong
Right.
64 and that sort of thing. But the thing is that yeah, the games themselves are solid. They're not difficult. I guess that's where it's sort of the guilty pleasure thing,
Sure.
that
Oh yeah.
I'm in my 30s and I'm playing, Lego. I've started up Lego's Force Awakens, for instance, and I'm
Mhm.
having fun with it. And it's just sort of
Hey, that's good.
it's not difficult. It's not a challenging series of games, but they're
Mhm.
enjoyable. They've got a lot to do, and generally speaking, I feel like I get value for money, so I'm perfectly happy with that. The only one that I've
Okay.
sort of been disappointed with is the Lego Horizon one.
Yeah, I
But
haven't
that's
played that
because
yet. I've
it
heard it's
it
pretty
it,
bad.
it isn't a Traveler's Tales game. I think that's what I was confused about. I thought it
Oh,
was, but it's not.
oh, that's not
It's
good.
a different company. But yeah, no,
Mm,
the Traveler's Tales Lego games, I
I
think are a
see.
blast. I really like them.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. I think the Lego games are. What was the last time I played? The Incredibles one was pretty good,
Sure. Mhm.
and then Lego City Undercover was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked that one as well.
Um, and then I played the Jurassic Park game was pretty fun too. I think those are some of the the Lego Star Wars the
The
saga.
the
All
Skywalker
like
saga.
yeah, all of those.
Yeah, yeah.
Which there's still
But
so
that's
much
been
in.
around. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's been around for a long time. I remember playing the original Lego Star Wars back in like
Mhm.
2005,
Yeah.
2006 ish. So,
Yep. Yep. Let's see. Here's another one.
mm,
Um, these are anytime I see them, I don't own them. I used to, but trying to get a kit is
yeah.
kind of difficult now because they're so expensive. I'm a sucker for the Rock Band Guitar Hero games. Um,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Me too.
those rhythm based games where you're using an instrument.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that shit. Like I
Hmm.
was so when that was a thing, and there's been rumors that harmonics. There was a rumor like a year or two ago where they're like, "Oh no, we're working on something, right?"
Well,
Um,
there's Fortnite Festival or whatever it is.
there's that, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
and here's the thing, I do play that too.
Fair enough. Okay.
Um, however, I'm talking like the more, like you
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
go
yeah.
buy a drum kit or all that. I remember
Hmm.
when that was huge, and I was like, man, that's so dope. And I
Yeah.
actually remember when Guitar Hero came out. I had a friend of mine show me Guitar Hero, and
Hmm.
my first thought was, what would be really cool is if you had a whole band, like if you had a
Yeah.
microphone and a drums
Hmm.
people were like, that would be insanely expensive, and they'll never do that. And then they did it like 2 years later, and I was like, yeah, see, they
Yeah.
did it.
It
Like they
was
did the thing.
expensive. Yeah.
It was very expensive, yeah, and it came this
Yeah.
massive box,
Yes.
and with everything. But
Hmm.
those games, there's an expo that we have over here in the Louisville area called Arcade Expo,
Sure.
and they have a big projector and they have a whole rock band kit with the drums and everything. You can go up and play with people
Yeah. Yeah.
every time.
Hmm.
I hit that up every time because like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, I love that. And I mean, I remember going to, I don't know if over in the UK that they did this, but we had stations over here where at different stores like department stores that would
Yeah.
have a guitar set up
Oh yeah, yeah.
to
That's
do
how
the
I first
demo.
played it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I remember when I used to work at Walmart, oh, God,
Sure.
like 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Um, our Walmart had that, and I remember catching myself. And where they had it at was in the electronics department. But in
Mm.
order to go to the break room, you had to go past electronics. You had to walk past that thing. Dude,
Yeah.
almost every time I would leave, I would go clock out for lunch. I'd come back out and play a song real fast and then like go get
Yeah.
food and
Yeah. I
shit.
get you.
But
And I, yeah.
but those games, yeah, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all the
And I,
expansion packs, they had like Green Day, they had the
yeah.
Beatles, they
Yeah.
had like so
For
many
they had Lego
expansions.
Rock Band as well.
They did. I
Yeah.
like that one too. That was a lot of fun too. Oh
So
yeah.
I'm representing Dan. He's not able to make this call at the moment, but he's a big fan of both Lego and Rock Band. So it's sort
Yeah.
of a match made in heaven.
Do you
So
remember when they had the Lego Rock Band on, like, what was it, Game Boy Advance or something like that, or DS, and you had the little
I remember they did a few
thing you
rhythm
had to
game
wear
things like a
on the yeah, like a little glove or something you had to wear
yeah
and it
yeah.
attached to the thing.
I'm more aware of it, but I was more of a home console player. But
For sure. For
yeah,
sure.
no, definitely good memories of that because I think the first
I'm
time I tried it was in a
uh
store, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think I remember trying it, and I was just tapping the buttons, but I wasn't strumming. And then some guys like, "Oh, you got to strum as well." And then I did like, "Oh, okay then."
Oh, that's how you do that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I sort of got in when the first one I got was Guitar Hero 2 for the 360, which I think I got it was a birthday present. Um, and it came like at a really good time because it was sort of during my more formative years, in terms of
Yeah.
trying to identify, my taste in music and that sort of thing. And it was really fun and the music was good. So
Yeah.
a great
Yeah,
combination.
that was actually how I discovered a lot of good music too, actually, come think about it.
Mm.
Because there's typically when you play the career mode on those, you got to play some certain
You
songs,
have to play, yeah, exactly.
and you have to play them.
Hmm.
And then I remember, I was like, okay, that's how I discovered Coheed and Cambria, actually.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
I love Coheed and Cambria, and
Mm.
that's how I discovered them, was
Yeah,
playing a few of their songs on one of the early Guitar Hero games.
yeah,
And then to me, and then the fun part was, is whenever they would announce a brand new, like a numbered entry, not the DLCs, the numbered
yeah,
ones,
yeah, yeah.
you'd be like, ooh, what songs are going to be on that? And
Yes, yeah,
then so yeah, I think a lot of the songs I enjoy now, I would have to attribute uh to those games. I mean, but then again, I mean, eh, a lot of the songs I enjoy came from games having really great soundtracks too. That's a whole other discussion. I think we've had that
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Is games and their amazing soundtracks, and that's how I've discovered a lot of really awesome songs.
Sure.
What's another one for you? Another guilty
Oh,
pleasure.
I'm trying to run through my head.
Hmm. I'll tell you one of mine while you're thinking of
Okay.
another one of
Yeah.
mine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about it real fast. Fortnite.
Hmm.
Fortnite, definitely. Right.
Fair enough. Okay. I
Fortnite
could never get
is
into Fortnite myself,
That's the
but
thing, man.
yeah.
My brain can only handle doing so many things at a time in a
Hmm.
game. So
Sure.
I don't know if that's like uh, ADHD or whatever you want to call that or whatever, but
Yeah.
like I don't want games. I want games to be challenging, but not like challenging in the sense of mechanics. Like all these things
Yeah.
have to do.
Hmm.
So what I don't like about Fortnite, and I know it's in the name of the game, Fort. I
Yeah.
never liked the whole fort building mechanic. That
Yeah.
was like, for me, that was like a bit much. Um, and I never
Hmm.
felt that translated well to console.
Yeah.
As odd as that sounds, because like if you're doing that like I've played Fortnite on a PC, and I find it so much easier to do that because you have different multiple keys.
Yeah.
Whereas on a controller, it's just like trying to build and then like aim, and like it's too much for a controller for me.
Fair enough.
So I didn't really get into Fortnite back then. But
Mm.
the moment they said zero builds, I was like, hell yes, this is now Call of Duty. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm in, and
No,
I've
fair
been
enough.
having the most fun time with it now. Like when you finally make a mode that is, you don't have to worry about people like building shit to hide and not take them out.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was what was really frustrating too, is like, I suck at building.
Mm.
And I've never been good at building in any like building type games. Like that's why I don't really get into Minecraft,
Sure.
or any
Sure.
of those kind of games that mesh surviving with like building.
Hmm.
Those
Hmm.
games have never clicked with me. And I don't think they ever will click with me. I keep trying, right?
Yeah.
So that was why Fortnite never clicked with me. But when they took that away, I was like, all right, you just opened the floodgates of this game being cool to me now. And I I am not ashamed to admit, as a 40-year-old man talking to you today, that I
Mm.
do enjoy Fortnite from time to time.
Yeah. Nothing wrong
Especially
with
now
that.
that they've added so many things to it. Like they added rocket racing to it, which is basically Rocket League in Fortnite, which is interesting.
Yeah.
They've added the Lego aspect of it too, which that's kind of more your dedicated like Minecraft Lego survival
Yeah.
without PvP.
Mhm.
And then they just added like a Lego life thing where it's a simulator. I don't know how that works. I kind of tapped into that a little bit, but aside of that, I mean, Fortnite has become bigger than what it was,
True.
and it's now it's on the level of like Call of Duty. It's a pop culture video game icon now that's
Yeah.
not going anywhere. And not only that, but I mean, I never really got into skins, but man, it's hard to not get into skins when you're talking like Ninja Turtles and Cobra Kai, and you know,
Yeah. No, I get you.
I'm not one to purchase skins, but I will admit that I too have purchased skins in Fortnite only
Okay.
because we're talking like actual characters from multiple various iconic movies, TV
Sure.
shows, etc.
Yeah, I
So
get you.
they really know what they're doing when
Yeah.
they are able to have those licenses and give you the ability to play as the characters and people that
Yeah.
have
I
from other
guess.
shows and things.
Yeah. I think for me, Fortnite is probably not on my radar, but I guess the kind of the downside is that because of the whole sort of because I think Epic Games acquired Harmonix or something like that.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
sort of so I guess it's sort of the reason we're not going to be getting Rock Band 5 is
Is because of
because
Fortnite.
it's because of Epic.
That
I know there's
sucks.
Fortnite Festival and everything, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's to me I've not played it, but to me it just fundamentally feels like it wouldn't be the same. So
Yeah.
but I completely get
Yeah.
Fortnite wouldn't be as relevant as it is now, or be as relevant as it has been for such a long time if it didn't deliver to its audience. Um, so I think I guess kind of one final thing that I can think of from my end,
Yeah.
and again, it's sort of a bit
Go for it.
more general. I wouldn't necessarily say it's sort of a guilty pleasure, but there's also some hidden gems in there, and it's
Okay.
simulator games. So
Oh,
the
yes.
one the one that really clicked
Yes.
with me I
Yes.
say recently in the last couple of years or so,
Hmm.
I would have to say is Power Wash Simulator.
How did I know that was going to come up in this conversation? I
Uh,
just saw that and I was like,
yeah,
who's going to bring it up? Because I like that one too.
yeah,
I don't play it as often, but when I play it, I play it for a long session. It's weird.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
very satisfying. You
Chill.
could just
It's a
put
chill
something on in
game.
the background and
Yep.
just spray away with and that's one of those things where
Yeah.
I've got all of the I've got all of the add-on packs that they've had. So, they've had things like
Oh,
SpongeBob and
nice.
Back to the Future and Final Fantasy and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And
for
for me, it
sure.
feels like I would say those kind of feel like proper add-ons because with each of those, you get, I think it's 5 levels in each pack, and it's
Okay.
maybe £7 or £8 per pack.
Okay.
And you'd normally probably be getting about 10 hours of levels out of that. Um, so yeah, it's one of those things where the game itself is really fun, and I kind of unashamedly buy the add-ons when they come out. So I think the next one that's coming out is Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I believe it is. So when that comes out, I'd imagine I'll be picking that up. I've completed the Shrek one as well, which came out most recently. But since then, no, I played another one called Crime Scene Cleaner, which is sort of a similar sort of thing, cleaning up crime scenes. And I've also bit the bullet and I picked up Euro Truck Simulator 2 on sale recently on Steam. So we'll see
I
how
had
that
that too.
goes.
That's a really, really popular game on Steam,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
So
wild to me.
yeah, but I'd say just kind of as a whole, I'd say kind of the simulator game genre. But Power Wash Simulator, I think, deserves a special shout out as probably being my favorite of the lot.
Nice. Nice. Well, that is going to be it. We're going to wrap it up there for this week's episode of The Next Level. Thanks everybody for hanging out with Andrew and I as we talk about our favorite guilty pleasure games. You can listen to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. We do appreciate you no matter where you listen to. If you're listening on Spotify or on Good Pods, and on YouTube, because our new episodes go up on YouTube as well. Forgot about that.
Mhm.
Leave us a comment down below what your favorite guilty pleasure games are. We want to know. I'm curious to see what everybody's favorite guilty pleasure game is. Let us know. Also, let us
No
know your thoughts
judgments.
on the right. No judgments, of course. Also, let us know your thoughts on the whole Grand Theft Auto $100 game situation too. We talked about that at the beginning of this episode. But other than that, we appreciate you for listening to us all the same, no matter where you're listening to us from. It's all very much appreciated. And we will see you guys on the next episode of the Next Level Podcast. Until then, see you guys.
Thanks, everyone.